I still want to have 5 houses and a beach home. And it's like, would you just shut up? Like, shh. Stop. You sound like an idiot. Hello, and welcome to UMATA. Who matters? UMATA. Today we're talking about who do you want to become? Who do you want to become matters a lot. You're here because you want to do something differently. You're listening and click on this video because there's something about it that triggered you to go, hey, you know, something's going to be worked on. Something's going to be changed. Something's not right. And the frank reality in terms of who do you want to become, it's a bit of a moving target. Becoming someone that you want to be has to start with an admission that you're not what you are now is not what you want to be in the future. Some aspect of you're not happy with. Because if you are who you wanted to be, you wouldn't care. You'd be like a turtle. You'd just float around eating. Some people live like that and they're totally cool with it. But it is generally in the nature of a human being to want to strive for something, to become something. It's not necessarily in a human's nature to just be stagnant. There is a bit of a creation, there's a bit of an achievement that every human wants. And I think there's probably a lot to be said about it just in terms of growing up. You, as a child, are small and you become big. And that's a process. You become an adult. You start at a lesser position and you grow up into a larger physical position. When that physical growth stops, there's a bit of an inertia. There's a bit of a momentum where you're like, well, my body stopped growing, but there's still things that I want to do that I haven't done before. I myself, maybe if I'm physically, I've kind of matured. What about my being? What about my mind? What about my character? What about my interests? What about my whatever? So the thing to keep in mind about who or what you want to become is that it is a moving target and you'll never actually achieve it. You will never fully be the person you want to be. That is a big admission that you have to understand. There is a level where at some point you can work, but at some point you're going to be 80 and you're going to be like, man, I physically can't do this anymore. I actually physically can't improve anymore. I'm having to put all of my effort, hours, and time into just keeping myself alive. Like if I were to stop doing things today, I wouldn't be alive anymore. So there is a cutoff, a severe and abrupt cutoff at some point in your life. Maybe it's natural, maybe it's not. It could be when you're in your 20s. It could be really young when it happens to you. So you need to understand that there is going to come a point where it will all end. The carousel will end. The music will stop. And you'll just have to sit back in your rocking chair and go, well, I guess that's what it was. That's all I could do. Once you can come to terms that there is a cap that you can't control, you can then quantify more intelligently specific things you do want to achieve or specific things you want to become more like or more of, or just do more with your life. So understanding that it will change throughout the years and understanding that there's a limitation to what you will be able to become is critical, because it gives you a foundation, it gives you an insight as to what you'll be able to do, and most importantly, it allows you to focus. Once you're given a limitation or a constraint or a defined box or field or space that is measurable and not infinite, then you have something you can work within. The same thing goes for the idea of a budget, or the same idea for a trip. If I want to drive from Florida to Texas, there is a finite known quantity of things that can happen or will not happen. The reason why I say this is so important is because I talk to a lot of people, and when I talk to people, they sound crazy. Like they actually sound ridiculous. Most of the time they're younger, but not always. I've talked to 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds about some of this stuff, and they're like, well, someday I'm going to be a millionaire.
well, someday I'm going to become president of the United States. Well, I'm going to become this or I'm going to become that. I still want to have 5 houses and a beach home. And
it's like, would you just shut up? Like, shh. Stop. You sound like an idiot. You sound like a 5-year-old where everything's a possibility. And when you think like a 5-year-old where everything's a possibility, what ends up happening most of the time is you have half starts and half completions, and you never actually complete anything. You know, if it's like a 5-year-old who has all these drawings all over the place, and they're all kind of like half ideas. You're an adult, you're not a kid. Do you want to actually physically lose weight? Do you actually want to get a raise at your job? Do you actually want to quit alcohol? These are finite, measurable things. These are not pie in the sky stuff. And unfortunately, if you continue to think in a way where you don't acknowledge those two constraints, that time will end at some point, and B, your ability to continue will have a cap of what you achieve, you'll never actually get anything done. So first you have to acknowledge that what you want to become is more of a focus, and it's more of a specific list that's actually relatively small. Once you figure that out, once you understand that it's a finite amount, it's a measurable amount, then it becomes digestible, then it becomes practical, then it becomes doable, then it becomes accomplishable. You see, that's the key. You cannot live in your head with these ideas that have infinite runways or don't have an end objective, because that's how you fail. The only way to succeed at anything is to know before you even go and accomplish it what the quantifiable amount is to determine that it is done. And that's the message for today. If there's an area of your life that you want to change and you want to decide who you want to become, this hopefully helps focus you and gives you some perspective as to how to start simply measuring that idea. This is UMATA. Like, comment, subscribe.